What is happening, everybody? Cephalon here with some Madden 16 Ultimate Team content. Today we're going to open up some large quick sells, and we're going to go ahead and purchase a couple new players to the squad. You know, got to mix it up a little bit. Been playing the same, guys for a while, and a couple cards came out that I really wanted. That Larry Fitzgerald 99, I definitely really want that card. He's going to replace probably my Cooks, just because I can't take AJ Green off the field because that guy just makes such great one-handed grabs. He's just a freaking beast, and it's fairly cheap. But the Cooks, I could probably get some good value from that. Maybe upgrade on some linemen or whatnot. So we got 10 of these large quick sells, and we get a couple of nice ones here. Nothing great. I haven't had anything over, I believe 300K was my highest this year, as far as like a single. But we keep on trying, and we haven't had any good luck lately. I got about 700K though, and with these large quick sells, I would assume we'll probably get about between 150, 170, give or take, and we'll be able to pick up definitely a few players here. So what I want to do is I need to get a fourth cornerback. I don't really have one. I sold them off, and we want to get that right receiver I told you about, and then we want to get a right outside linebacker. We want to replace the Lawrence Taylor with Lawrence Taylor, but I think I'm going to go with something else that's a little bit cheaper and just kind of mix it up. I would really like that Lawrence Taylor. I just don't think I want to pay 300K for him right this moment. So I'm going to go ahead and get somebody else. So that was about 157,000. So that's what we're going to pick up. We're going to pick up DeMarcus Ware, and it's a pretty decent price. It's about half of what that Lawrence Taylor is going for. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then we went ahead and picked up Larry Fitzgerald. That's probably our most expensive one we picked up, 262,000. I'm a Cardinal, man. I got to have Larry. So we're going to have Larry on one side, Julio on the other, and then AJ Green will probably be our slot. So we're going to go ahead and pick up this Charles Tillman as our fourth. So it's only about, 90,000 give or take, and it's pretty decent. So I saw Boss Gates for 300,000. I figured, I don't need a super fast tight end. So 300,000 for a boss card, I figure that's pretty good. So we're going to be playing the Baltimore Ravens, and this guy's got pretty much a Baltimore Ravens squad. He doesn't seem to have too many beastly players, but he definitely has a good enough team to compete at the level that we're at. So we're going to take this kickback with Lockett, get a decent return, back to about the 25-yard line, not too bad. So we're going to go ahead and try to see what this guy wants to do. You never know if people are going to blitz you at the top or what kind of coverage they're going to go. So I like to run from the start to see if he goes into any kind of blitzing. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty standard game. I think he was in a cover, like a cover 4 at that first play. So that was more my fault. That wasn't really a blitz. He got in. A lot of the rollouts, there's I don't know, the left tackle seems to get stupid, and they usually let some people in. So right there on 3rd and 15, I really thought Green was going to hold on to that ball, but he didn't. So we had to punt it up. So what we're going to have to do now is we're going to go ahead and see how his offense is. We're going to go into our coverage plays. We're going to do nickel prowl. And then we're going to do some quarters, man deep. But I will mix in some mid blitz, where I'm going to be bringing more players than what they're going to be having blocking. I'm not going to do any turbos, nanos. That's not my style. But I definitely will bring that mid blitz. It's a very common play. Everyone seems to run it a lot, but it definitely works if you do it right. Nice little hit right there from Night Train Lane. Oh my goodness. He's got Trent Richardson at running back. We're not scared of that guy. He doesn't run very fast, but it's actually a pretty good card. And right there, Anquan Bolden dropped a ball for him, which is, good for me, not for him. I wish Anquan never left us, but he did. He did get a ring, so good for him. And there's Sean Taylor doing what he does, intercepting balls for our squad and taking it back for a decent gain, too. So now that we know what this guy is all about, we're going to be able to... I think pretty much pick them apart. It might take a little while, just kind of play with some different types of passes that I'm going to do, because I'm still actually just testing out Johnny. I want to see what he's good at. He doesn't get the ball out very fast. He has it seems like he doesn't have the best release. I actually get sacked a lot on screens, and here's a good example right here. Look, I'm trying to throw the ball and it just doesn't get it out. Maybe he doesn't drop back fast enough. I don't know. But now it's 3rd and 17, so we're going to have to just throw this thing deep to AJ Green like we do, one-on-one coverage. This guy is such a freaking beast. Look at that play. What can you do? He doesn't have anybody good enough to cover that guy. I am telling you guys, if you do have the coin, buy that card. It's probably only 100K at this point, but it plays like a 99. It's freaking amazing. Nice little play by Lane again. And I'm going to say freaking a lot just so I don't cuss, you know. It's one of those things, you know. I want to make sure that you are PG on YouTube. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so we're going to get back to the game here. 3rd and 5. He's still going underneath. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to shade outside and shade inside depending on the place. You know, he's going to try to do a lot of the play actions. You know, so we won't blitz a lot. We're just going to stay into coverage. You know, and that was just a good play by Oliver Vernon for a nice little sack. You can see right there it's a cover 2 man, and he just got in. So he just had his block sheds and whatnot and did what he's supposed to do. So he goes again to that slant play with Anquan. He's going to try to hit that a lot, and he has Matt Schaub at quarterback. I don't know what version that is. I'm sure it's probably just like 90 to 95. And there he goes, going to that same type of slant again, you know, and I knew we were going to be able to pick him off, you know, just got to keep shading inside. And that was Tyrann Mathieu, and he had my patented jump in the air after I intercept the ball, which is something I do a lot. Always hold that yellow button down, you know how it is. All right, so we're going to do a little underneath ourself right there to try to get a couple yards. That was Antonio Gates. I'm trying to test out these players. I'll try to hit Larry as much as I can in this game as well. I'm not too worried about it, but Green's in a perfect slot to hit him right here, and we get a nice little rat catch right there. Take it all the way down to the 5-yard line. You know, give it up to Bo, get him hit to the 1-yard line, and then we'll just finish it off with a fullback dive. So 14-0. You know, I am definitely not worried about this guy anymore. So, actually, I probably wasn't worried at all, but you know, I don't know. You can't get too cocky in this game. Most of the games I've been playing, people have been quitting out. You know, I want to put out a lot more gameplay, but it really hasn't been a lot of fun. You know, most of the games are just like real short. You know. So right there, we dropped a ball. Sean Taylor and Woodson couldn't come up with it. Maybe they collided together. So, you know, Sean Taylor, you're gonna have to come up big. He's gonna have to do something now to make up for that. You know, I don't want to have to get rid of him too. He's been on the squad for a while now. So here's a nice little pitch out to Richardson, and boom, laying him down to the ground. Sean Taylor, that was a nice little hit. So now we got 3rd and 8. You know, and this guy's gonna have no chill. He just chucks it up for, you know, I mean, I don't even know. We should have had this interception. We had 3 guys around it, but, you know, what can you do? 4th and 8, you know, I don't know. Oliver Vernon's coming in screaming again. We're going to get the ball back. It's, you know, it's starting to get kind of ugly. So what we're going to do is we're going to give this guy a break, and we're going to go ahead and run up the middle with Johnny Manziel. Even though you can see that he's blitzing, he's got players right at the line, and he gets them right in. And not even that big of a hit, but we fumble the ball like a little noob. I mean, what am I supposed to do right there? I don't even know why I call that play. It's just things like, you know, you just call them because you got the card. You got to call stupid plays. So Matthew has a nice little hit behind the line of scrimmage, and now he's going back to that slant again. This guy will not learn. We'll go ahead and pick him off again, I'm sure, at some point. So we got 1st and 10. He's going to be dropping back, and Vernon bringing pressure again. And see how close we are on these guys? I mean, Rob Woodson, man, he is just blanketing people. That man coverage is coming into play. So he throws it again right to our user, and we just go ahead and pick him off. I would say don't test the user, but hey, you know, I'm not that great at the user, so test me all you want if you play against me. You know, we'll see what happens. Anyway, so we're going to drop back here. 4 seconds left here. We're going to throw it up. Larry Fitzgerald right in his hands, and he didn't hold on to that. I was kind of disappointed, but, you know, what can you do? We're going to try him again, you know, over the middle, and hopefully holds on to it. Oh, no, that was Julio Jones. We decided to throw to Julio instead. Larry was on the outside. Usually they hold on to those balls. I mean, he did have a nice little one-hand grab, but I don't know why he dropped that. All right, so underneath, guy gets a good little 1st down right there. They'll spin off, you know, dragging on some of our players for a couple yards. So he's sticking to the run a little bit, which is a little unusual when you're being down, you know, 14-0. Just, you know, maybe he's just, I don't know what he's doing. I can't explain it. Alright, so there you go. Back to his little underneath the game again. It's not going to, you know, he's not going to score any touchdowns through doing this. You know, he's definitely going to drive it. Look at Kamari's just getting really close to get another interception, and that's what's going to happen if you just keep going to the well like that over and over and over again. Right there should have been another interception we had ahead of him. He's going for it on 4th and 8. You know, he gets a nice little 1st down right there. You know, just barely got away from our defender for that 1st down. You know, so he's definitely throwing into some tight windows, getting a decent amount of completions, you know, underneath. we're laying the lumber on him though. So again, I'm just hoping to get a freaking fumble. All right, so 2nd and 4. I need to get some guys coming in. And here we go. We got a nice little pressure on him right there, and he throws the ball away. I dove at his feet. If he would have held on to the ball, he would have had it. All right, so he got a couple yards right there. 4th and 2. We're gonna bring that mid blitz, and we get a nice sack on him with Miller. And now we're gonna do some stupid stuff. Pitch out to Gates. I don't know why we did that, but that's not great. So 2nd and 15 in the 4th quarter. We're just going to go ahead and try to score real quick. Nice little rollout. We're going to have X open right now toward the sidelines. Fitzgerald right at the sticks. Nice little catch right there. So 3rd and inches, I would normally want to run it, but what we're going to do is we're going to pitch out. We're going to try to get it over to Antonio Gates, who picks up the 1st down. Nice little 2-yard swing. And look at that sack right there. I think I saw that coming, but there's not a lot you can do. He got in pretty fast. And he got in again. We just did a quick little pass to Bo. Just get a couple yards. At this point, this guy was blitzing pretty much every play. So we chucked one up high to Julio Jones, and that's what you got to do. Get those 1st down. Try to get them out of the blitz, but he's still going for it. So, pitching it back out to the right side with Jackson. And we're probably just going to keep running it. If we could pitch out left or right, we're definitely going to take him for a big gain. And there goes Bo off to the left side, and no one's going to get him at this point. Touchdown, Bo Jackson, GT. That was his fault. You keep blitzing, sooner or later you're going to get killed. And look at that nice little hit right there by Ray Lewis. Just sniffing out that screen. Another hit. See, I'm laying the wood, man. I'm hitting this guy where it counts. He's just not fumbling the ball. Oof. I don't even know how he caught that. I believe that's a Steve Smith card. I think it's only like that 92 BCA card. So it's not like an insane card, but he's still definitely making some catches with it. So that was definitely a good hit to break that up. He's driving down, but we're kind of going a little lax. We're trying different things. We're doing some more blitzing. We're going to leave his guys one-on-one, and that's a big mistake here with Steve Smith, because he was able to get a decent little chunk here. So we follow the downside, and he throws it right up, and we got a nice little breakup, but I can see where he wants to throw. It looks like he's going to try to keep going back inside. We got nice. We shade inside right there, and we're just really close to getting the interception. But I'm probably just gonna have to go ahead and do another blitz on him, and we'll probably end up exposing ourselves a little bit. But I don't know. It's only a minute left. It's not like we're gonna lose. And there it is. So that's kind of what happened. The blitz got picked up, and he was able to score with his BCA card. But now he's trying to go for 2. So he got a little greedy right there, and we knocked it down. So 21-6, he'll probably hit his onside kick, and then, I'm sure he's going to quit out once we catch this ball. If not, play later. That's kind of how it goes. There's a minute left. So getting the ball with Agnew, our backup tight end at this point. Look at him take that down. That's a nice little gain off that onside kick. So, he probably wants to see the ball some more. Almost got sacked again right there. Barely got it off. And then, there we go. So game over. Subscribe if you're new, and I will bring you guys more gameplay soon. So you guys have a good one. I'll see you soon.